In the tranquil embrace of God's love, let us gather our hearts and minds in the peaceful presence of the Lord as we prepare to hear a narrative of profound wisdom and grace. May we open ourselves to the gentle whispers of divine inspiration, with faith as our beacon and love as our guide. We embark on a journey of reflection and learning in this sacred space, enveloped by the boundless compassion of our Creator. We find solace and strength, ready to receive the blessings of His eternal wisdom. Today's message comes from the book Jesus in the Home by Neio, Lucio, psychographed by the medium Francisco Xavier. Chapter 7, The Greatest Servant. Philip was at the family meeting, and at one point he asked the Divine Master, "Lord of all the people on the earth, who is the greatest servant of the Father?" Jesus thought for a few moments and then began telling this story. A large crowd gathered in a big field when a famous warrior bearing swords and medals came there to give lessons on military tactics, urging the onlookers to learn how to defend themselves. The people began doing strenuous exercises, leaping and running dangerously about to no real purpose. Even so, they kept at it, aimlessly and joylessly. Consequently, they lost several young men in such activities as they prepared for the possibility of war. Not long thereafter, a famous politician arrived in the region with a large collection of law codes. He divided the people into various parties, pitting young against old, poor against rich, and servants against stewards. In spite of the sowing of material benefits as a result of the competition amongst the various groups, the politician went on his way, leaving behind dark thorns of hatred, disappointment, and discord amongst his collaborators. After the politician came a philosopher, carrying volumes of old books under his arm. He divided the people into various schools of thought, which soon gave rise to pointless arguments amongst them. Everyone doubted everything, even their own existence. The philosophy, of course, had remarkable advantages. It did stimulate thinking, but the trouble resulting from it was very regrettable, and the philosopher bequeathed a lot of futile questions to minds incapable of such a lofty effort. Next came a priest, armed with vestments and symbols. He supplied a lot of rules and regulations on how to worship the Father, The people learned to genuflect, to cleanse themselves, and to plead for divine protection at set times. Nonetheless, all the fundamental problems of the community remained the same. There were no work directives, no conscious purpose, no values, no happiness throughout the entire realm. Disease and death, need and ignorance haunted everyone. One day, a humble man showed up. He brought no weapons, scriptures, arguments, or symbols. He brought only a spontaneous smile that revealed a mind full of goodwill guiding his industrious hands. He preached no spectacular doctrines. Instead, through gestures of pure and constant kindness, he rendered true worship to the Almighty. He began to make himself known, cultivating a small plot and decorating it with precious fruits and flowers. He talked with his companions in struggle, making use of the time in fraternal, spiritually uplifting teaching, and he told of his experiences to all who had a mind to listen to him. He worked with wood, planted useful trees, built houses, and set up a modest school. Soon, everyone around him was living in health and peace, fraternity, and the blessings of work, prosperity, and contentment with life. Due to the spirit of work and learning that he instilled, defense was good, politics helpful, philosophy worthwhile, and the priesthood useful, because all of the community's activities were now presided over by the holy imperative of carrying out one's personal duties for everyone's benefit. Christ fell silent, but no one in the small group dared ask any questions. After gazing at the far-off horizon for a long time in silent thought, the master finished. In fact, there are many workers who deserve the blessings of heaven because of the good they bring to people's body and mind. But those who educate the eternal spirit by teaching and serving stand above all others. As the story unfolds and gently settles in our hearts, let us carry forward the light of understanding and the warmth of God's unconditional love. In the quiet moments that follow, may we reflect on the lessons learned, nurturing the seeds of faith, hope, and love planted within us. Let us rest in the assurance of God's tender care, knowing that in serving one another, we honor the greatest servant of all. So be it.